A sermon for Tuesday in Holy Week. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Each one of us has to make them. Where we live, what we eat, how we spend our time, who we share our lives with. What we decide affects our lives and the lives of those around us. Some are more difficult than others. Whatever we decide can be very costly. Some we only make once in a lifetime, like the one Jesus made. The crowds were still excited about the miracle he performed in bringing Lazarus back to life and chose him as their new king. Surely he will be the one who could free them from the oppression of the Romans. But with the arrival of some Greeks, Jesus made a staggering announcement that in a matter of hours he would be dead. Must have gone down like a lead balloon. What? But the scriptures say the Messiah remains forever. What do you mean by saying the Son of Man will be lifted up? But Jesus tells them that his death isn't the end of his reign, but the beginning. His kingdom doesn't start with a coronation, but a crucifixion. Just as a grain of wheat is planted in the ground and dies in order for new growth and a new crop to be produced, so Jesus' death will be the source of a new spiritual life and growth in the world, a new beginning for mankind. It will draw people to him from all over the world, like iron filings to a magnet, and produce a rich harvest for God's kingdom. But entry into the kingdom isn't automatic. If we want to enter God's kingdom, we have to put that desire above everything else, before any short-term gains we may receive in this life. We must die to our own self-righteousness and give ourselves completely to God. We will be tempted to take an easier path. Even Jesus was tempted. John gives us a picture of him in torment as he makes his final decision of obedience unto death. We are all afraid to go forward for Christ. It's a tremendous responsibility, but Jesus shows us that the way to overcome our fears is by faith in him. Jesus promises that if we trust him and serve him, he will help us walk the true path towards the kingdom. John doesn't say whether the Gentiles took any notice of Jesus, but the Jews certainly got the message. They openly ridiculed him. Jesus says that time is short. He appeals for a response while the light is still with them, before the cross comes and he's taken away. Jesus challenged them that if they wanted to see God's kingdom, they have to accept God's love on the cross. We too are challenged to choose the way of the cross, to be one of the fruits of Jesus' death and glorious resurrection. Without Jesus, we are lost in darkness, but with him we have a clear view of the truth. Without Jesus, we are dead, but with him we have eternal life. We either follow the crowd and live for the promise of this world, or follow Jesus, take up the cross that God has given us, and live for the promise of the next. It's your decision. What do you choose? Amen.